All right, my friends, 1 year can feel like an eternity or a blink of an eye. But what if I told you that in your business that you could build a business on your own terms, no matter your niche, your specialty, your genre, or your location in just 1 year? Now, I know it might not seem feasible, Erin. You're crazy pants. I know. I've heard it lots of times. But in this week's episode, I'm bringing in one of my clients because she has had an extraordinary journey over the just over a year of us being together in the same camp. And I think that her story of growth and really setting her business apart from the rest and on her terms has been really beautiful to watch. And I think that it's something that you will walk away feeling inspired, and b knowing it's okay to stand in who you are firmly and not waver from that for fear out of fear of XYZ. Um, so if you've stumbled upon us somehow, I'm Erin Bird, and I support dance studio owners and educators to really grow their businesses. If let's call a spade a spade, I help them grow their businesses by creating their own unique vision. And then we make sure that it's done in a way that there's no burnout, overwhelm, or sacrificing your personal life. Because the truth is, you don't have to. Well, hello. You just brought up good morning. Good morning. If you're joining us, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I always want to know who is with me when we come on live every single Wednesday morning. Now, I also have to say, if you come back in on the replay, we want to know that as well. So just drop a little hashtag replay, let us know, and we will continue the conversation as well. Good morning, y'all. I don't know about you, but it is going to be a beautiful day. It was 75 degrees here yesterday. Like, I don't know what. But then it's supposed to rain all weekend. So I don't know. We'll see. But anywho, all right, my friends. So if you're joining us, say hello. Let us know that you're here. We would love to know. And we also like to learn out loud. Or if there's something that resonates with you, let us know in the comments. Like, ooh, a little hashtag nugget, or oh my gosh, yes. We always want to know. So I'm going to go ahead and invite in my friend here. Let's see if we can do this. It works. I always am like, surprised. I don't know why, because tech has failed me probably so many times. But every time it works, I'm like, yes, it worked. Good morning.
Hey.
Well, I would love to just let you go ahead and introduce yourself. And then we can just like dive into all the goodness of your journey and what makes you the unicorn in your community. And I love it. So I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna try.
My name is Marjorie Hopkins, and I am the owner of Kaleidoscope Studio in Kitchener, Ontario. It is an old style Irish dance studio, and our tagline is Dance for a Lifetime. So I teach babies as young as 99 days who come in with their caregivers all the way up to 99 years old. For me, it's about incorporating dance into your life, not to become a performer. It's a participatory focus rather than a performative one. And so accessibility is a huge priority for us. And that ranges financial accessibility, physical, emotional, neurodiversity accessibility. Those all matter. Those groups tend to not be served. Right now, I have a 78-year-old dancer who just said to me, I'm just so happy that you'll take me on. Most studios won't take me on. I'm like, if you want to dance, I'm very happy to teach you. So
let's dance.
So it's been really exciting to see people embrace that you don't have to want to be a big performing dance star, that you actually just can enjoy the music and move your body.
Oh, I love it so much. And I love how you're serving your community and really your approach, in that it really is based on impact, right? And like, how can we change the lives of the people that we serve? And which kind of leads me into the idea of you are a little different than maybe some of the traditional studios that you would either see in your community or across the world, honestly. And so, good morning. There's lots of friends joining us. So, what what sets you apart? What makes you? I mean, obviously, I know that you are like inclusive, but I think that there's a little piece. You're not looking to serve 500 students.
We're small. We're a very small studio. I run it out of my home. During COVID, COVID was the impetus. In the midst of all the uncertainty, I didn't know if I would get invited back to teach that fall, because would we open with another studio where I was teaching. So I said to my husband, I need a place to dance. And so we converted our living room. We installed a sprung floor and mirrors, and I started with one student, and my packed to the rafters, gills full, 65 is it. That's all I can accommodate. So massive growth was never an option for me. I just can't physically, the physical space just cannot handle that capacity. But I love that I'm never going to get reno-evicted. At least 3 studios that I know of in the past 12 months have been evicted from their spaces because the owners wanted to sell the land for developers.
Yeah.
And so I never have to worry about that.
No,
no one's ever going to jack my rent
Right.
So I have a lot more control, but I am small.
Yeah.
So it means how I go about presenting my studio and my space and myself has to be maybe a bit more creative than other spaces and places. And the other layer is I do old style Irish dance. When people imagine Irish dance, they think about river dance or one of the other big spectacle shows.
Right.
Or they might know the competitive fesh scene with the big wigs and the blinged out costumes. I do the stuff that they would do at home in their local communities, over 100 years ago. So it's just a very different approach to even the style of dance.
Yeah.
Compared to what people know and just what is more common practice. So
yeah. No, I love it. And I think that when you can stand in what your core values are, what are your core values? And you're very clear on this is what my vision is. This is what I want to do. I am not okay with certain things. And so I know what my boundaries are. I know what my values are. And so how do we use that in a way that does help people understand and the right people are drawn to you? And like you said, whether that is little ones that are 99 days old or 99 years old, they are coming to you because their values align, which is absolutely amazing. So you decided to convert your house, which a lot of people think is crazy. But with that, there's obviously pros and I'm sure some cons to doing that as well. There's always both. But so you made the decision to do that. You started with one student. What made you decide, okay, now I need to get support because I do want to grow this, but I'm not 100% sure on how to do it. Where did that come from and how did we find each other?
So when I first started, I knew the Irish dance piece. I didn't yet know the old style. So when I started, I was doing the Irish dance that I was most familiar with. Not competitively, that was never my intention, but the dance style itself. And so it actually took me some time to figure out how exactly do I want to go about this. I took some professional development training. So I did Rhythm Works training with Trisha.
Love.
And then I did IntelliDance, which was still with Jessica at the time. And then Trisha bought it. Yeah. But it was always the question of how do I take these two genre programs that are not Irish and bring people in while my focus is Irish. And so there was just sort of this haze, I guess, of how do I make it mine and bring people in? And I can't remember. I think I found your name through 2 people. One was through Trisha. There was a comment on Facebook that mentioned you. or there was a conversation, interaction you guys had. And then the other one was Andrea with Discover Dance.
Mm.
So I went, okay, these two people who I know, like, and trust.
Mm.
I've mentioned Erin, so I checked it out. The first thing I did, I believe, was the preschool program, like getting mobile programs, because like, yeah, I do have space limitations. Then it moved, I did the curriculum, I think, program, or I did the Profit. Anyway, your recommendation of Profit First.
Yes.
So I ordered that book, like, while the live was still on and I was on Amazon ordering the book.
Love it.
The curriculum, and then I went, okay, I was just coming into my third season, I think. Yeah, I'm in season 4. In my third season, I went, I got to get people in. And then I signed up for enrollment boot camp.
Yeah.
And we had lots and lots of tools. But again, I only have room for 65 people. So I cannot go blitzing out on ads and suddenly have more people than I can actually
serve,
accommodate like that. So yeah, so there was a lot of trial and error and identity sorting out. It wasn't until fall 2021 that my old style piece started to actually gel. 2021? Yeah, fall 2021. So anyway, and then joined the Empire Builders Club just to keep maintaining.
Absolutely. So I have to, can I share this comment because it's so funny? Said, my mother would love you. Irish dance is being ruined. Silly wigs and fake tan. My mother is 74, World Camp, All Ireland Camp 1, search for a star and dance for President John F. Kennedy. Old school is best. Like, right? Speaking my love language, right? So I know it was one of those things where you came in. Yes, and you guys, this isn't something that I actually, if I'm being honest, I knew that you had some people recommend, but I didn't know who. And it goes back to the idea too, and this is something that is applicable for everyone here, in that why it's so important to have a know, like, trust, because you made a decision, an investment decision based upon other people's recommendations because you know, like, and trust them. Now, I love the two gals that you just mentioned, Andrea and Trish. I mean, like, but I have to tell you that our values align. All those ladies, our values align in what, coming from a developmentally appropriate place. Like, so I know how it just translated over to that. What does that mean for everybody else? This is applicable for you and your studios as well, right? When your community knows, likes, and trusts you, even if it's not a current family, but your community at a large, you will be the person that they recommend, even if they've actually never been a client of yours. And this happens actually quite frequently. You would be surprised how many times where people are like, oh, yeah, if you want Irish dance, that's where you need to go. Not because they've ever taken a single class from you, right? But it is bigger than just your immediate base. And so that's something that we definitely talk about a lot inside the Studio Accelerator Bootcamp, inside of our programs. We talk about that. And so it makes my heart so happy to know that that's how you found us and kind of decided, like, how am I going to get into here? So for you then, what do you feel like, the journey's been like? Do you feel like it just has been a wild ride? I don't know. So you started with one student. How many students do you have currently?
30.
30.
So it's only been 4 years, so it's easy to remember. I went 1 to 2 to 11 to 30.
Yes.
So yeah, January 2023, I had 10 enrolled. January 2024, I'm at 30. So I've tripled my enrollment.
I love it. Let's see. Okay. So just last week, I had a parent from a previous studio I taught at recommend my studio to a parent asking for classes on Facebook, even though her daughter dances somewhere else. It is 100% true, my friends. So the know, like, trust it's powerful. And to the point, if you have someone, a parent who, used to be, they might say, okay, yeah, like the studio we go to might not be a perfect fit for your child because maybe we're a highly competitive studio and that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for a different experience. So yes, why wouldn't you go over here? So thank you for sharing that. I think that it's really important for us to remember, is that the know, like, trust factor, it's huge. It's a huge, huge deal, right? And so one of the things that we chat about all the time inside of our community is that I don't believe in comparisonitis, right? And that, when you're in a group, sometimes it can feel like, well, so and so had 99 trials booked, but I only had, but then if we look at what your goals are, right? So, like, this is where I think it's important to really look at data, and you love the data too.
I don't love data. I just know that it's important.
Okay. She's like, it's not my favorite, but it is important. And so we can't compare apples to oranges, or we can't compare one thing to another. So, for you, you don't want to serve 500 students, or you can't. I mean, even if you want to, in your current place, you cannot do that. But when we take the data and the math, we look at some of the stats, and you're like, Erin, I've like had a 300% increase, or Erin, I've had, and when you actually do the math, like, it's kind of mind blowing in a way. It's crazy. And so, and more doesn't always mean more profitable. So there's that piece that we talk about a lot. So what do you feel like are the big shifts for you since you joined, like, the Studio Accelerator Boot Camp or the Empire Builders Club? What's shifted for you, whether it's personal, professional?
Yeah.
I don't know. What shifted for you?
Clarity, the importance of clarity, knowing who I am and what I offer, and actually being okay if someone doesn't actually reply to my email. And I know you preach the fortune is in the follow-up, but I actually have so few spaces that I only want the people who want to be here. I'm happy to answer as many email questions as they have. It's not about not wanting to engage. It's
Sure.
I don't have space to chase down maybes. You want to be here, you don't. And I know that is very different from what you've taught in some regards. Fortune is in the follow-up.
Right.
But I mean, I'm always timely. I get an email and I've replied to it quickly. But if someone doesn't reply to me for however long, when I've answered their question, I'm like, well, that's okay. That space now is for someone who actually is passionate about being here. And the clarity of my website improved. I had 8 enrollments, new people, and only 2 of them interacted with me before they enrolled. So 6 out of 8 just saw my website and went, I'm in. So that clarity of the website, because we've talked about the importance of website being crystal clear on who you are and what you're offering. So that has transformed for me. What else? So I had wanted to figure out how to set up my profit and loss within the tracker I had been currently using, and how to actually integrate those 2 systems. And then you'd provided us with that template, and it was lickety split. I put it into my document, and all of a sudden this thing was like, well, how do I get that set up? Magic. Done. Couple of copy paste cell sharing bits, and I'm rocking and rolling. So
that gets the hand clappers. That gets the hand clappers. It's one of those things where I think I love all of those wins and the celebration of that, and really just coming into the clarity. So many times I think that's actually where the disconnect happens, is because if we're not clear on who we are, who we be, what we want to be as a business, then it's not clear to our audiences and they can't commit, right? And I will say kind of the same thing. If, to your point of, we aren't everyone's cup of tea.
Mhm.
And yes, it is not our job necessarily to convince people that they want to be there. And whether that's, yeah, I mean, I had a messenger conversation with someone the other day, very brief, because I was like, this is not going to be a good fit.
Mhm.
Right? This is not, I am not a coddler. I mean, I think you'd say I'm compassionate, and I'm like,
Caring isn't coddling.
right, right, I'm not a coddler. And so I think that's probably also one of the things I'm like, hey, this is just what it is. This is what I see. And I didn't think that it was going to be a good fit. And so we finished the conversation very quickly. I said, I just think there might be a better coach out there for you,
Mhm.
because I am not it. And I'm okay with that. Right. And so to your point, I think that's very fair. And like, yes, now I might say the fortunes and the follow-up, it's based upon your specific goals.
Yep.
Right? And your boundaries. And we all have to set and uphold those boundaries, and then what makes an ideal client. So for you, the ideal client is they're passionate, they're on top of it, they want to be there, they, like all of those things. And this is how I decide whether they've made the cut.
Mhm.
And this is where going back to that idea of, it's about you figuring out, sometimes it is about them figuring out if you're a right fit for them.
Mhm.
But on the flip side of that coin, it's us figuring out, are they a right fit for us?
Yep.
Because it needs to be on both sides, right?
Yep,
Definitely needs to be on
exactly.
both sides. Okay. So I have to ask you just kind of like I'm a like one last kind of, what are your next big goals for yourself?
Um, I actually would like the type of thing that I do to have a bigger reach. So I'm in the process of developing an introductory course, online Irish dance course. It's very, very, very early stages, but to think about some of the things that I was looking for that
Mhm.
I haven't quite found. No one else seems to be quite offering it. And so setting that up, because I had where I live, there's lots of smaller towns on the outskirts that are 30 to 45 minutes away, and people are coming from there to here.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, so I think actually there might be a market, especially for winter days when traveling's not great. So,
Yes.
hey, you don't want to drive winter roads January, February? Here is this 6-week online
Mm-hmm.
class that you will still get the same kind of content you'd get live with me here, but from the comfort of your own home. So that's part of how I'm expanding my reach without expanding my budget. Because I just don't want to pay. I just don't want to get into the rental market. Up here, it's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane. $3,000 for fewer than 1,200 square feet.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that stress.
Yeah. And I love that you're crystal clear about that. And you're looking at, okay, like, how do I expand my reach, but not necessarily get into a new building or, do, or all of that. I absolutely love that. I'm excited to see it unfold. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. Is there anything else that you want to leave? Like, here's the thing, guys, we're talking about like 1 year can just change everything. And it is actually possible. It's not my job to convince you that it's possible. You have to believe. One of the things for me that shifted is every time I decided that I wanted to do something, even when I would tell myself, like, oh my gosh, who are you to do this? What are you thinking? I realized, no, if I bet on myself every time, even if I fail, I'm going to be closer to my goal.
Yep.
Right. Um, But if there's anything that you could leave people with on the idea of change, or,
Yeah.
what little nuggets would you
I
have?
think it's okay actually if the first ones are a bit stumble and bump. I think about fall 2021, and I offered an array of class options, fall 2022, so I've been tweaking along the way. And as I always tell my dancers, especially adult beginners, because they get so worried that they can't do it right away. And I said, If a 5-year-old writes out their name and half the letters are backwards and you're not quite sure what it says, do you get mad at them? Or no, you get excited that they wrote their name.
Yes.
And so I tell them, embrace your inner 5-year-old. And for me, I think that applies. Embracing my inner 5-year-old, that out of the gate is out of the gate. And that is the win. In first place or perfect is not actually the goal. It's getting out of the gate. And so just keep writing your name, and your letters will improve over time, and then you'll develop your own handwriting style and it will come together. You just gotta keep writing. So for me, it's you just gotta keep reflecting, getting clear, putting it out there, refining it, reflecting, put it back out. And that's just keep going. Keep writing your name. You'll get your C right eventually.
Yeah, I love it.
Right eventually.
I love it. I really do, because it is all about just taking action, and it's about progress, not perfection. And we would never tell one of our students, you didn't land that on the first try. What's wrong with you? I mean, I would hope we would never, I would never, I know you would never, but like as an industry, I hope that we would never do that. We would encourage our students to keep practicing, keep trying, get support.
Yep.
Right? Like it's about that. We wouldn't, and so I love that you shared that, keep writing your name. I think that's a beautiful little sentiment there. And my friends know that there is support for you. Now, it might not be me. I might tell you I'm not the right fit for you. But I have lots of friends in this industry, and I know how each one is different and their approach is different. And I am okay with saying, hey, you might want to check out so-and-so, because you might need something a little bit different, right, than what I know that I am. And I'm okay with that. But really, if you're struggling, don't stay in the struggle. Don't stay in the struggle. Get support. Get help. It doesn't make you less than for asking for help. Quite the opposite, actually. So, my friends, let me know what little nuggets that you took away. I'm excited about her goals that are coming up in the future. I'm like, this is the first time hearing of it, which makes me so excited, because she is part of our Empire Builders Club now. And we get to have, twice a month, we get to get together on Zoom. And so now that I know this little information.
It's brand new this week.
Yes.
Last Sunday.
Okay. I love it. So what does that mean? It means inside of our Empire Builders Club, I might ask questions about it. And we might start to explore it together. And so I love it. Yes, don't stay in the struggle. Be clear on who you are and what you want to be known for. I'm working on it. I love that these little pieces just resonated with you all today. That's one of the big points of doing this, is knowing that it is possible. You don't have to stay in the struggle. And I love how clear you've become on who you are, what you want to do, who you want to serve, and just watching you blossom and grow makes my heart so happy. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing with everyone. My friends, we will be back next week for another episode of the Erin Bird Live Show, where we talk about business strategy, mindset, tips and tricks, marketing, all the things, and hopefully a little bit of joy in your day, a little bit of laughter and fun. And I'm going to leave you there. Also, if you have it and you're interested, we do have our Sizzling Summer Camps Masterclass coming up on February 9th at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, where I'm going to lay it all out for y'all. I'm just going to lay out for you what the top themes will be, how we're going to get them booked out now before spring, and to not have you think about the dreaded summer slump. Nobody wants that. So drop the word summer below if you would like more information on that. But my friends, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all very, very soon.